The fork scraped against the porcelain plate like nails on a chalkboard, each bite tasting more bitter than the last. I sat there at the end of Aunt Vivian's polished oak table in her sprawling colonial home in suburban Boston, Massachusetts, forcing a smile as the familiar barbs flew my way. Must be nice having those long summer breaks. Emily, Cousin Brooke sneered, her perfectly manicured nails tapping her wine glass. If you'd just pushed a little harder, you wouldn't be scraping by in that dingy apartment. They all chuckled, like it was some inside joke I'd heard 1,000 times. Uncle Harold nodded along, his golf tan glowing under the chandelier. No offense, kid, but when's the last time you upgraded that rust bucket of a car? I gripped my napkin under the table, feeling the weight of the envelope in my purse pressing against my leg like a loaded gun. They thought they knew me, Emily Harper, the 34-year-old high school history teacher at Lincoln High, the family underachiever. But they didn't know about the lawyer's call that morning, or the deed tucked away, or the storm I was about to unleash right after the over-baked apple crisp. My name is Emily Harper, and I've spent my life in the shadows of expectations that were never mine. Teaching 10th grade history in a public school in Boston isn't glamorous. It's lesson plans at midnight, parent-teacher conferences that drag on, and buying supplies out of pocket because the district's budget is a joke. My family's always seen it as my big failure. Mom sighed. The Reynolds clan. Measures worth in stock portfolios and vacation homes. After my parents died in a boating accident when I was 21, Aunt Vivian stepped in as the self-appointed guardian of my potential. History teacher? That's cute. She'd say, her voice dripping with that faux sympathy that stings worse than outright insults. But remember, you got into business school at NYU. You could have been running your own firm by now. Yeah, I remembered. I also remembered realizing corporate life would suck the soul out of me. So I chose the classroom instead. Try explaining that to people who think passion is just a hobby for the weekends. Cousin Brooke was their shining star, 36. A marketing exec at a tech startup, living in a gated community with her surgeon husband, Derek, and their 2 kids in designer clothes. Family dinners were her stage. Look at Brooke's new Tesla, Uncle Harold would boast, fork waving like a conductor's baton. That's what happens when you hustle. And me? I was the cautionary tale. The one still driving a 2011 Toyota Camry with a faded bumper sticker from a teachers' union rally. My wardrobe? Thrifted blouses and practical loafers that could handle hallway chaos. When are you going to date someone with ambition? Brooke would prod, her eyes scanning me like I was a fixer-upper project. The last guy, a fellow teacher named Alex, bailed after I said I wasn't rushing into marriage. I stopped sharing after that. It only gave them more ammo. Being the family disappointment means you fade into the wallpaper. They dissect you right in front of your face, assuming your life's as empty as they imagine. She gets all that time off, they'd whisper, ignoring the 50-hour weeks, the essays graded on my couch, the kids I fought for. They never asked about Jamal, who showed up to class with bruises until I connected him with social services. Or Sophia, whose English was spotty, but whose essays on immigration moved me to tears. Or Liam, who thought history was boring dead guys until I showed him how it shaped his own neighborhood. To them, those wins were peanuts next to Brooke's quarterly bonuses or her Hamptons getaways. I was just Emily, the one who settled. The renter in a cramped walk-up with leaky faucets, the quiet one who nodded through their pity. But my quiet was a choice, a shield. And now, with that envelope burning a hole in my purse, it was about to become a weapon. The scent of Vivian's potpourri, cloying lavender that always triggered my migraines, hung heavy as I navigated the crowded kitchen, balancing my homemade pecan pie. No one helped. Oh, you brought something, Vivian said, barely glancing up from her silverware. Brooke swept by in a cloud of expensive perfume. Still rocking those teacher vibes. Huh? That blouse screams clearance rack. It was new, actually. But I just murmured. Nice to see you too. The table was set for 10. The usual crowd, Uncle Harold droning about his latest deal, Cousin Travis and his wife debating elite preschools, Aunt Elaine griping about her cleaning service. I slid into my spot next to Great Aunt Mabel, who was half deaf and more interested in her mashed potatoes than chit-chat. Still grinding away at that school. Harold boomed, passing the limp asparagus. What's it been? 12 years. 13. I corrected softly, spooning gravy that looked like sludge. 13? God. I'd go nuts stuck in one spot, Brooke exclaimed. I just landed VP of Marketing, comes with stock options and a corner office. Impressive, I said, sawing through the dry turkey. Vivian jumped in. Her favorite routine, it's never too late to switch gears. Emily, my bridge partner's niece, pivoted to consulting at 38, 6 figures easy. I love teaching, I replied. Of course you do. Dear. Someone's got to. Her pat on my hand felt like a dismissal. But those summers off? Must be heaven. I thought of last summer, tutoring gigs, online courses, revamping my syllabus, volunteering at the community center. Yeah. It's relaxing, I lied. Derek and I just got back from Aspen, Brooke announced, whipping out her phone. Private chalet, check out this view. The device circled the table, oohs and ahs following. When it hit me, I glanced at the ski selfies and passed it on. You should get out more. Travis's wife chimed. Single. No ties, what's holding you back? Well, Karen. Public school pay doesn't scream luxury vacations. Harold barked a laugh. Right? What do you make? 40K? Pocket change. It was 52K. But why correct them? See. That's the issue, Vivian sighed. You settled. Remember NYU? You could have had it all, a home, a partner, security. I have security, I whispered. Brooke snorted. In that East Side rental? That's not security, that's limbo. The murmurs swelled. Unions. Lazy millennials, forgetting I'm Gen X. Elaine's tale of her banker nephew. I poked at my food, the envelope's weight grounding me. They pivoted to Brooke's kitchen remodel, Travis's cruise. No one touched my pie during dessert. They went for the bakery cheesecake. I didn't care. As Brooke bragged about her bonus, I felt the secret simmering, ready to boil over. The call shattered my Tuesday routine at 6:50 a.m. Coffee mug halfway to my lips. Unknown number. Massachusetts area code. I almost ignored it. Telemarketers love early hours, but curiosity won. Emily Harper? The voice was crisp, measured. This is Robert Klein, attorney with Klein and Associates in Cambridge. Regarding your grandmother. Sophia Reynolds. I froze, hot liquid spilling over my fingers. Sophia, my dad's mom. The family phantom. Banished before I could form memories. Whispers of scandal. Divorce. Abandonment. I'm sorry to say she passed last week at 92. The chair caught me as I sank. I didn't know. She anticipated that, he said softly. But she's left you as sole heir to her estate. Can you meet in Cambridge this weekend? The drive up I-93 was a blur, my Camry humming through traffic while my mind raced. I told no one, just a weekend getaway. Klein's office was in a brick townhouse. Him mid-40s with steady eyes. Sophia was extraordinary and headstrong. He slid a photo, Dad young, next to a sharp-featured woman with my eyes. The rift? I asked. Messy divorce when your dad was 14. Your grandfather poisoned the well. Called her a deserter for prioritizing her tech career. He adjusted his tie. Truth? She was a pioneer software engineer at a Boston firm. He couldn't stand her outshining him. My chest tightened. Dad reconnected secretly after I was born. Letters hidden from Mom's family. They threatened lawsuits if she approached me post-accident. A stack of envelopes, unsent letters for every milestone. She followed your life. Your teaching. Proud as hell. The estate? Her Cambridge brownstone, $450,000. Investments, $550,000 total. To my granddaughter, who picked impact over income. Like me. I touched the cream envelope with her final words. Hands shaking. Choices. Emily. She gave you real ones. Back home. I read her letter at a rest stop. Dearest Emily. They say you teach history. Of course, you have your father's spirit. Don't let them diminish you for chasing purpose. Now you get both. Live boldly, revenge is thriving. Tears came for the lost grandmother. The secrets. The years. Then I drove on. Back to my rental. Everything shifted but unseen. Monday dawned ordinary. Same blouse. Same loafers. Same Camry in the lot. The secretary barely nodded. In class. I drilled timelines. Managed disruptions. But between bells, I called advisors. Financial guru Laura Vargas. Sudden windfalls wreck people with guilt. Don't squander it. We built walls, trusts, portfolios. The brownstones sold discreetly to a professor couple. I played the part when Vivian asked for free history lessons for her grandkid. I demurred. Banker's hours. Huh, she sniped. Some of us have real careers. Harold ambushed me at the market. Moaning taxes. Eyeing my off-brand groceries. Go private sector, make something of yourself. Maybe, I said. Knowing my investments outpaced his. House hunting was stealth, evenings scouting Boston outskirts. Avoiding local agents. Found it, a 1930s cottage on 1.5 acres. 20 minutes from school. Needed renos. But the bay windows and garden spoke to me. Cash offer. Quick close via trust. My out-of-town realtor quipped. You bargain like a shark. Skills honed from budget scraps. Contractors from Worcester. Paid phased. Weekends. I'd weed the yard. Planning, sunlit office. Library shelves. No room for judgmental kin. Brooke called mid-garden, hey. Need a rec letter for Haley's Academy app, shows we value education. Irony bit hard. Sure. And Vivian's dinner next month, dress up. Derek's colleagues are coming. Will do, I said. Plotting my faded sweater. Post-call. I surveyed my secret haven. Letting them underestimate a bit longer. The foundation gears turned, non-profit status. Scholarships brewing. The Boston Herald piece dropped Wednesday, local teacher inherits windfall. Launches education nonprofit. Phones exploded by 7:30. I ignored. Taught through the buzz. Lounge whispers, Emily? This you? Yep. And you're here. Where else? By dismissal. 28 missed calls, all family. Voicemails, Vivian's fury, how dare you hide this? Harold's opportunism, let's chat investments. Brooke's rage, pretending per all those dinners? I deleted. Graded in peace. Saturday's birthday dinner, Vivian's. I brought a custom scrapbook of old photos. Silence greeted me. Look who's here, Vivian iced. I sat. Happy birthday. Cut the act, she snapped. The lies. The money. I didn't lie, you assumed. Semantics, Brooke spat. Letting us pity you. You pitted because I'm a teacher, failure by your metrics. We helped. Vivian claimed. With insults? Comparisons. Silence. The article mentioned my foundation, no questions on that. Just mad about cash you can't touch. Family shares, Harold blustered. Sophia knew you'd swarm like locusts. She was shunned for succeeding, echoes your treatment of me. Different. Is it? She innovated. I educate. Both threats to your egos. What now? Hoard it while we struggle. Vivian demanded. Struggle? Mansions. Clubs. Luxury cars. Building for kids like mine, brilliant but overlooked. Noble, she sneered. But charity starts home. It does, with my students. My true family. I reclaimed the scrapbook. Left amid chaos. Drove to school. Placed it on Sophia's desk. Her family needed roots more. 2 weeks later. Group text, hosting dinner to discuss inheritance. Saturday. 7 p.m. The Oak Room at the Ritz-Carlton. My dime. They bit, smelled payout. I wore my standard attire. They arrived overdressed. Eyes greedy. Envelopes at seats. Wine flowed. Apps devoured. To family matters, Harold toasted. My matters, I corrected. Vivian, gifting to kin eases taxes. Handled. I stood. Read Sophia's quote, to purpose over profit. Then her sting, nothing for the vultures who preyed on my son. Widow. Granddaughter. Faces fell. Open envelopes. Brooke read first, $1,000 more than you gave Emily when she scraped by post-loss. Harold, more than your skimpy funeral contribution. Each detailed slights, the uninvite after parents' death. Free labor demands. Neglect. Real checks, your full share. Vindictive. Brooke yelled. Me? After years of mockery. We're blood. Vivian shrieked. Relatives. Not family. Family supports. Sees value. I showed photos, Sophia's scholarship. Liam's internship. Jamal's housing aid. Strangers. Investing in believers. Regret this, Vivian warned. When? You never showed up. I prepaid. Walked out, enjoy parting gift. And to Brooke, Haley's letter? Praised your education-valuing family, mocking the teacher. Good luck. Outburst trailed me. Manager confirmed prepay. In my car. Blocked all. Drove to my cottage. Future unlocked. Voicemails flooded by 11:45 ignored. New number, principal. Advisor. Lawyer. Contractor. Teacher pals. Emails filtered. Old landlord chuckled. Your aunt demanded address. Threatened suit. Cousin tried bribery. Sorry. Nah. Fun watching entitlement implode. At school. Kids unchanged beyond buzz. Sophia, family mad. Money reveals truths. Mom says it corrupts. You seem steady. Best compliment. Foundation launched July. Sophia Reynolds Education Initiative. Scholarships announced, 5 colleges covered. Test preps funded. Harold feature. Teachers praising life changes. Principal, Emily's our anchor. Photo, me with recipients. Beaming. August lawsuit. Vivian contesting will undo influence. Lawyer, doomed. Sophia's docs airtight. Dismissed fast. Judge smirked at vultures. She paid fees. New year, cottage coffee on porch. Old Camry reminder. Grocery run-in with Harold, he fled. Cart abandoned. Cashier, relative. Was. Good riddance. October courtyard ribbon cutting. Sophia Reynolds Learning Hub, Labs. Library. Free for all. Crowd, students. Families. Townies. Speech, education levels fields. Best revenge, thriving despite doubters. Applause. Reporter, family unsupportive. Families chosen, principal fighting budgets. Kids inspiring daily. Blood? Wish them well. Text from Alum, saw coverage. Thanks for belief. Marcus, ex-date, with partner, incredible choice. Invested in futures. Sunset gilded the hub. A kid tugged, help my project? Always. Reflection, same teacher. Now unburdened. Revenge wasn't cash, it was this. Possibility rooms. Surrounded by seers of my worth. Worth every cut tie.